Hello, hello. It is 10 a.m., 4th of July. You are listening to WHIV in New Orleans. This is 102.3 FM. We honor independent voices. And this is Monkey Mind with Rob. And this show is focused on brain cancer, health issues, you could say, and living in one's moment. So yeah, get in tune with that. I was, I definitely have absolutely nothing prepared for today. But there's always something to talk about, right? Oof, yikes, kind of spooky. I think it's so much of this. So anyway, so the monkey mind is basically a reference to a Buddhist thing where this, I think it's like the chatter in your head. It's that constant voice in your head that always wants to do something, doesn't care what it is, as long as it's something, something, something. That's the difficulty in kind of meditating, in silencing your mind to really get quiet. And I guess it's been part of our evolutionary thing to kind of keep us going. I guess there's a kind of a reason, evolutionary wise, for everything that is. So yeah, so it's basically about kind of trying to distract, I guess, the monkey mind, because the monkey mind, I guess, never really gets quiet. It's always a monkey. So the Buddhist monk that I'm referring to in this thing, and I think it's like a term within that community. But they had this guy on, this Buddhist monk that I was listening to one time. He was saying that that's how he got to meditate, is that he would ask his monkey mind, am I breathing? And that was just enough of an activity for his thinker, his monkey mind, to then focus on his breath. And then that allowed him the silence to then meditate. And it's a great practice for us all to, because you can do that, and that's what I think he said. He just said he did that pretty much all day long. I'm just asking about his breath. And it's such a momentary thing, too. It's about, honoring and living and being grateful for your moment, because that's all any of us have and ever will have, is just this moment. So much of us have been conditioned to just be so focused on our future, what's going to happen or what did happen, when that's not going on right now. You are free of your past right now, and you're not in your present. You can't deal with it. And both have a unlimited source of dilemmas to throw at you. You could be working that forever. You're never going to resolve, like your past. You can come up with this happened to you, this happened to you, this happened to you, blah, blah, blah. It's just making peace with your moment. And, that was then, this is now. A lot of good chicken soup cliches and stuff that you can practice. And then the other part of the show, the GBM, back in I had brain cancer back in, was it 2004 or 2005, something like that. Yeah, it was like right after Katrina. So I got diagnosed with a GBM, which, if you don't know, that stands for glioblastoma, which is really, you don't want it. It's no good. And I kind of thought I gave it to myself in a way, or like I helped cause it, because my thinker was so unhealthy back then. And just really, I was depressed, anxious, sign me up. My thinker, my monkey mind, was being very just harmful, hurtful, ugly to myself, just 24/7. I couldn't get away from it. I was always, you're always with your mind, and when you go into that, I didn't really have any kind of niche that I wasn't really my thinker. And that's the other part of this kind of equation, is the kind of duality of our consciousness. Whereas we have, of course, this thinker called the monkey mind, And then we have the awareness where you can sit back and basically listen to your thoughts kind of in an objective and non-judgmental way. You have that ability. You also have the ability to create more monkeys and to create more mean monkeys listening to that other thinker, and then you can just snowball it, where you can have those two monkeys that you've kind of given attention to start arguing with each other. The practice that's always worked for me is kind of forgiving your monkey, and forgiving yourself. Basically, what it boils down to is not being so judgmental on yourself and on others, and just practicing that. I mean, you're gonna mess up, and I do it on a daily basis. I am not in any way some Dalai Lama Buddha over here. I'm suffering like all the time, but it's cool, and you can kind of get into a flow with it where it's okay. My newest kind of mantras that I've been kind of playing with is I love it. I wish like if there's something that seems a little kind of off or something, you just kind of say I love it. Like almost like you created it, and it's in such a way it's so much like your, how do you say it, like your your story. So this is your now, and you just start practicing that, and just keep practicing forgiving yourself, and it's like I said, you're not doing anything in the future. You're going to be doing it right now. So you have like this, in that kind of, I guess, awareness of it, consciousness of it. Your present moment is like eternity. This is an eternity. So back in, so I just recently got, 8 months ago, I got back on chemo. So I do this oral, it's called temozolomide or something like that. That's what it's called. And so I do like 5 days of that, and then I'm off of it for the rest of the month. And so that's been eye-opening. And that's like it just reminded me of that other thing. Because when I first, the docs, because I had, 14 years of, and okay, I didn't say on the GBM thing that I had, the glioblastoma, that give you like 6 months. And nowadays, I think it's like a year to live when you get diagnosed with it. Just very aggressive. It expands the cancer in your brain and just starts taking out a lot of tissue. But anyway, so I've had all the I do MRIs every year, and so then 9 months ago, they discovered an area over my brain stem, and so they were all like, "Ooh," and so that's why I'm back on this thing. But oh yeah, I was saying when I first got diagnosed, I went back home that night. And I remember being in bed. It was like this, you get those really cool epiphanies. And so I was, I just remember being in bed. It was just a really awesome moment. I was like, dang, man, this cancer is going to come back and bite me, wow, and I just got into this whole, like, moment, and I was like, wow, this is like an eternity. Like, you could get in that mindset, oh, I'm running out of time or something like that. And it's like, nah, man, it's like, I really just noticed the moment, and it just seemed like, kind of being kind of connected to everything, when you have those vibes. And no, it seemed really cool, and I wasn't really, afraid of it or something like that. So yeah, so that's what I've been doing, and now I'm kind of thinking, but I gotta, I always gotta jinx myself when I say stuff, but I don't know if my Reiki likes it when I say stuff like that, but I haven't seen her in ages. She was on the show one time too. She's the only other person I think I've had on the show. I interviewed her. It's pretty cool. But yeah, but I just, her big thing is like, you don't take possession of the cancer. It's kind of like a parasite. It's like the thinker. It's like that monkey mind. Cancer is basically, it's a natural parasite, just like your thinker is. Everything's got a purpose. But, and then how I practice when I was going through with that GBM, I practice asking, like, when I personify the cancer or something, basically I did like this exercise where I'd asked it to leave my body, and I tried to envision it, and I envisioned it in this like little cafe in my brain, and it was this old Italian man sitting at a table. I think he was drinking coffee or something, like an espresso or something. And I went up to the table and I said, "Sir, you've had enough. It's time to leave." And he was real cool about it. He was like, "All right." I don't even think he said "all right." He was Italian, but he got the gist of it. And he got up and just walked out the door. And yeah, so it was a weird experience with that for sure. But yeah, it's like, so now I've been on this thing. I'm kind of thinking this isn't a another tumor, but I mean, I'm not saying that too confident. It because it hadn't changed at all. I don't think. I don't know. And like looking at these MRIs, it's pretty. That's its own. What is it called? A Rorschach test, or yeah. What do you see? All the shapes. Well, another thing that makes it really complicated with that kind of stuff is like on your MRIs when you're looking at cancer and you're looking at scar tissue, they look the same. And one of the offshoots of treating, like cancers and stuff, is you kick up a lot of scar tissue. You kill a lot of tissue, and it has that same kind of wispy white on the contrast, because the MRIs are like black and white. And I think different machines actually do it kind of differently. So it's really good if you start at like a protocol. It's ideal to stick with the same machine, because then you have consistency, of course. And but yeah, and then I got turned on to like a few things over my rehab from it. I had like I briefly had because I had right frontal lobe. That was the GBM area, and they removed a lot of tissue from that. Didn't need it, wasn't using it, but pretty spooky stuff. Got to meet a few people on the protocol, and a lot of them, they kind of went out the same way. And it's so, with the hospitals and the medical stuff, I think they just turned it into way too much of a business, and it should be more almost just like people, like there's certain jobs that in our culture, I think, that should just be like you just love it, and it's like what you were born to do. You have a passion for it, and it's not so focused on the monetary, because I think it causes basically a quest for money as opposed to the healing process. What was that Greek guy? I'm not going to remember his name, but that's, I think, where we base the Hippocratic Oath or something like that. But yeah, something more like that, because you can just see where big business, big pharma and all that gets involved, and it's just, it's gangster, very gangster stuff. And the cancer industry is no different. Yeah, you hear stuff, like I remember watching some documentary years ago where they were talking about some guy that was in Houston that had used peptides, which were non-toxic and so forth, and was treating like the worst case scenario, so with children with cancers and stuff like that, and was getting good results. And then one of the hospitals that I ended up going to, I think, really went after him, because they were like a $1 billion, I'm sure, company. They just went after him guns blazing, suing him, and then when they got him all wrapped up in court, they tried to grab all his patents for his peptides and so forth. And I don't know how the validity of it, like if it really worked. You know how the documentaries, they can kind of sway stuff. You kind of take it with a grain of salt. But they clearly were being very, very aggressive towards this guy, very aggressive, to shut him down. And it's so much true that a lot of companies, they just want to treat the symptoms and not cure the thing, because then you cure it, you ain't gonna make no money. Well, I guess you make it on people you cure, but there's a lot, and they're just treating the symptoms. And but well, that just shows where money goes. I mean, not so to say it's such a people are sitting around a boardroom saying that. I mean, I don't know that, but I mean, I don't I don't know. Huh? Maybe so. Maybe so. People are they do some crazy stuff, man. Groups. I'm gonna say groups are one of the monkey minds, our egos, humans' biggest problems with managing the individual in groups. I've never been very good at it, and I think everywhere you see people, individuals identifying with a group, you get to see a lot of hurt, a lot of people causing more pain. Everything from forming countries to identifying with a race, with identifying strictly with your sex, as opposed to just like being, you know. I mean, you don't have to be like, you know, judging stuff just constantly all the time and separating yourself from others. Um, and I mean, I think it's about kind of practicing like a gentle, like if it's not bringing you joy to like think of your forefathers or something like that, or your ethnic thing. Like I don't know, like maybe like 2 years ago, I was able to do dual citizenship because my grandfather was born in Ireland, and I've never even been to Ireland, but I always wanted to go. And it was kind of like when I guess when I did it at the same age that he died. So I thought that was, and I never even got to meet him. So it was like a real kind of, you know, but yeah, just kind of like a, you know, a thing that's, you know, you make it positive. You don't embrace, if it's not causing you, you know, joy. And that's another thing too. It's like you can tell if your state is more one of joy, ease, and lightness. If it's not, that's your thinker, and it's our thinker. I mean, I'm saying I'm in the same boat, but when we fall out of that kind of just flow with life and with what we're doing, it's not, we're getting hijacked by that parasite, that thinking cancer, the monkey mind. But you know, the monkey mind, judging your monkey and getting angry at your monkey, and you know, angry at yourself is futile. It really is. You just get into the piece of it and say, hey, it's a monkey. It's like a lot of people that are doing crazy stuff, they can't help it. I mean, they didn't get to that. They were, you know, sweet little babies at one point, and this happened to them, this happened to them. They started identifying with that thinker that was felt hurt by this, living in the past, not going to let the past go, what was done wrong to it, is scared about what's going to happen in the future. And yeah, it's just like I don't really believe in evil people per se. I mean, people can do, you know, murder, rape, horrible atrocities and stuff, but I mean, they're just, and I'm not saying you don't take them out in the back and just put a bullet in them, but you don't do it with hate in your heart. You just do it because you can't. Either one, you got to protect somebody from them, or they're just unsafe to live in the population, just because they're too harmful to themselves and to others. And it's just a wild animal. But yeah, but I mean, hate is really something to take out of your practice, to take out of your equation, and that's something you can really take a hold of. And everything is just like, you know, practicing it, and you're in your moment. You can like, let's say, mess up. Maybe you put that in quotes. 100 times. That was 2 seconds ago. You did that. That's okay. It's over, man. That's gone. You can right now. Try it again. And also making peace with kind of what is. Not to say, you know, you can't change it, but things are, and you kind of can honor that and move through it without like yeah, causing so much resistance to stuff. You know, you want to get with a flow, and you know, things that, you know, I love it. Like, was it Like it was like an adage. Someone was doing like a story like you get your car stuck in a ditch. You don't just like go, hey, okay, I'm stuck in a ditch. I'm just gonna make peace with that. But you do make peace with it. But I mean, you're still trying to get your car or your truck out of the ditch. You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is, and you try and honor every moment, and it's a practice of that. And I think I guess I come here and I'm like going, why am I still doing this show? I guess because I come here and I talk about this stuff, and it helps me remember or practice my stuff. Because a lot of times I'm just I live alone, and so I'm by myself and stuff, and so it's just like you can get in some bad habits and so forth, and certain ruts, that truck in the ditch, and it's so nice to be around people. I mean, people are some of them so sweet, they're so sweet. But I mean, we're just so. And I think it's just ego identification. It's like that total monkey mind. And I meant to do some more research on why we are not our thoughts, because that's a big thing. But I swear I can barely articulate that. Why that's the case, and I should know that better. But yeah, it's almost like your awareness is. I always relate it more to what you'd say, like in religious studies, it'd be like your soul or your spirit. Where I'm not religious. I'm not into the. Much to my mother's regret, my mom became very tied in with I guess Christianity when I got diagnosed with a GBM, and because she thought I was her only son, so she was hearing, of course, and reading and seeing that I was going to die. And so she started praying lots. And I had a lot of people pray for me. And I definitely believe in prayer. I think shooting out things, like I was talking to like going out into the universe, like things that you want. I mean, just, shoot it out there. And I mean, I say you're going to get it, but, you're in your moment. So it really doesn't matter in a way if you get stuff or not. Be grateful for whatever you have. It's beautiful. And this is your story. You are the star of this reality, and and embrace that. Be grateful. Gratitude, something to really practice. Anyway, a lot of the things that when I got raised kind of in Christian studies and stuff. My university I ended up going to was, I think, Jesuit. I never paid it much mind, but they did a lot of religious studies. And prior to that, I think I went to it was like a Baptist school I went to, and in South Carolina before I came to New Orleans in high school. To straighten me out, I came here. And what did I do? I met some friends, and I went to Benny's Bar. And I was like, wow, this is awesome. Because Charleston was really strict with underage drinking and going to bars and stuff. And here it was not. It took me a little while to get into the groove here, though, when I first came over. I kind of quarantined myself for a while. All I did was like skateboard and the streets and stuff like that. And, I kept trying to run away to go to Baja when I was in Charleston because I surfed there. I wanted to live on the beach, and I think I wanted to do to Barbados too, but Baja was something I could drive to. And I wanted a VW bus, all the cliche stuff. I probably would have gotten so murdered in Mexico. It probably would have been horrible. But yeah, crazy. I was thinking about tracking down the girl. What ended up happening was we had been doing some entrepreneurial stuff, or I had been doing it, and then I tried to get a few of my friends involved so that we could finance the expedition. So I tried to coerce a bunch of my friends to all go to Baja with me. I was at De La Salle High School over there in St. Charles, and yeah, it was a trip. And I remember getting in my car when I was first just doing the quote runaway thing. Oh man, I felt so like epiphany, euphoric. I was just like, woo, man, I was living it. And then my best friend, he gets in the car, and we're driving on the 10 or something like that. And I guess we were gonna go. I don't know if we were going straight to California, and then we're gonna go down to Baja, or what the deal was. But I don't remember. But anyway, we ended up going to Fort Walton and just partying our butts. And when my friend came, I'm euphoric. I pick up my best friend, and now everybody else had bailed out. I think we had 2 other people in line to come with us, 2 other guys, and then they all flaked. And then my best friend gets in the car, and then as we're driving, he goes, "Rob, I had to tell my mom, so I can't go to Baja." He's like, "But I can go to Florida," or something like that. So I was like, "All right, man." And so we ended up going to Fort Walton and just partying for 2 weeks or a week or something like that. Crazy, crazy, crazy. But yeah, you know, you never know. I mean, something like that can be pretty traumatic. And then also, like, I got kids now too, so it's like, I can't imagine my kids. I mean, I can imagine it. You know, running away and you not knowing where they are, if they're safe and stuff. That would be just, sorry, mom and dad. And now, unfortunately, I don't even really. And it's kind of my choice. I think it's maybe a mutual choice. I don't really connect with my dad anymore. It's just like certain relationships kind of get really unhealthy, where it's like, God, after a certain point of repetition of people doing the same stuff, where it's painful or it's hurtful, it's like, yeah, this isn't a healthy for me. I can't really be, you know, involved in this. This is just a repetitive thing, and it's an acknowledgement. It's a non-acknowledgement of also kind of what somebody's doing when they're doing things that hurt you or hurt others in your family, and it's like repetitive, and it's like, no, I'm not going to do this. So yeah, that was kind of, that just recently kind of went down. But yeah, I remember him being, he was pretty angry with me, and he was doing that to me a bunch through the years. But it's like certain people you can really take a lot of abuse from, and you gotta watch it, because it's just like, that's a never-ending. Like, a lot of relationships are unhealthy. A lot of love relationships are really just 2 monkeys coming together. It's not really a true love. It's more of a mutual appreciation for hating on stuff. Because monkeys love to hate. Monkey minds love to be a victim, because that makes them right and others wrong. So a lot of people are confusing their love sex stuff with just monkey identification, and a very unhealthy pattern. They're like, become like a, I'm not thinking of the term for it, when 2 things come together and they basically form like a toxic, you know, mutual relationship. So y'all are both kind of enjoying that I'm right, they're wrong, or we're right, they're wrong. And that goes back to, I guess, the group thing. Love has no hate. There is no opposite. Love is love. If you have love and hate in your relationship, that is a monkey relationship. Now, it's like anything else. I assume you could work and practice at turning that into and embracing your love, but that would be a very kind of mutual thing to do. I don't know if you can do that, and you can still love somebody and not be around them, or not feel it's healthy just because it's not healthy. So you can love somebody and say, hey, that just ain't working, man. This just ain't happening, and that's okay. It's like, you can pretty much just do anything. You just don't need to do it with hate. It's just counter to just not good. It's unnecessary. It's a fallacy, I think. And yeah, it's just like, you change stuff, and you can change stuff pretty dramatically. Like I said, if somebody's gonna hurt somebody else, you can pretty much, you know, you stop them. Are they gonna hurt you? You stop them if you can, and you know, you take the measures to do that, and that's cool. That's cool. Well, I'm going to tell y'all a little bit about, I almost wore mine today. The station puts out some pretty cool swag. I used to have a retail shop. That's what we used to call stuff we would score. Swag. They got everything from like t-shirts, hoodies, fanny packs. They're cool gifts. And it's cool for yourself. You show support for a independent voices radio station. We are very on the I would say liberal socialist slant here, but not everybody here is. I used to be a diehard liberal. I kind of lost that. It goes back to the group thing. The groups, you just gotta watch these groups. They just get so identified and becomes like this ego thing. It's just very unattractive for me. I'm sorry. But did you know that 102.3 FM WHIV New Orleans has been here for 5 years? We are able to honor independent community voices with your support. So thus, the t-shirts, hoodies, fanny packs, stuff like that is a great way to show your support. You can also make little donations like I do. Like I have like on my bank card, they have something on where you just make a monthly donation to the station. So you simply go, for all this good stuff, go to WHIVFM.org and click store. And that's for all the swag. The other thing I'm talking about, I'm not really sure what that's, but you'll find it. But you can make a donation. And you can do, it's little amounts too if you want, or big amounts. Whatever you like, whatever's comfortable. So that's WHIVFM.org. And it says, thanks, y'all. I had a lot of people, man. I remember when I was up in New Hampshire, my kids got to go to this all girls sleepaway camp, and what was I telling you all that? Oh, because then I was like, everybody thought I was just like some southern, and I don't even really hear it. But I guess that's how what accents and all that stuff go. But they just thought I was like the playing a banjo on the thing or something. I don't know. All the kids. But it was cute. Beautiful area up there. Love that wilderness out there. Beautiful, beautiful. We are not a radio station with a mission. We are a mission with a radio station. Well, okay. Mix it all up. End all wars. On that one, I always like to say that's the mirror. End all wars. It starts with each of us. And I think putting more attention and gratitude back on yourself and noticing yourself helps you notice that, I think, in others. Whereas this group thing, you start creating wars. It's a natural thing. You start, well, this is my group and you're not in my group. And you start just judging others, keeping it separate. I mean, most people can't help being ignorant or fearful of stuff, and they do ignorant and stuff because of that. And it's almost a reason to feel more sorry for people and try and help them, as opposed to like yelling at them or hitting them for their ideas or something like that. And I was like, it saddens to see on the 4th of July this state of where we are not embracing freedom of speech more. That is such a beautiful thing that does it really exist anywhere else but here? And now it's like, it almost doesn't now. You could literally get, you get shamed, fired, shot, killed for the stuff you're going to say. And it shouldn't be like that. I remember years ago I'd heard for the first, and I didn't even know that actually even England I figured had freedom of speech, but they don't. It's like you can't say certain things about the monarchy or something like that. I don't know. I forgot all the ins and outs of it, but it just didn't seem like. I think we're one of the few places that actually has freedom or had it. It seems like we lost it. But yeah, man, that's such a cool thing. And then you're gonna hear things that make you mad. But you have control of that. Like your initial thing of getting angry, that's maybe out of your control. Like that initial response to it, but I mean your initial feeling of it, that's maybe out of your hands. Now your reaction to it is in your hands. You can take control of that and say, you're not just getting manipulated by what somebody else does. You are in control of yourself, and you can practice that. And it's a good way to practice it on easy stuff. Like a lot of times, I remember way back when I used to be kind of an angry driver, where I would really get mad at people they drove poorly, or like I was in some kind of rush or something. I guess I don't think I was, but then I just noticed it, and I was like, man, I need to stop this. This is ridiculous. And yeah, and so I just kind of quit. I kind of quit getting really mad at people. Now, I also like taking really long road trips and stuff, and you're gonna get challenged, I always say, on a good road trip. And because you're gonna come across a lot of drivers, and you get real judgmental because you know what, you drive so good, and everybody else just doesn't quite get it. If they're going with the flow, then they get it. If they don't, they don't. And but yeah, it's a good thing to practice. Is about really kind of slowing that down and not being angry, or practice you going non-judgmental driving around. That's a good practice, because typically it's not really life or death us getting around, and I mean rarely do you really need to get. And you can leave places a little bit early. A lot of that has to fall back on you. Look in the mirror. Where if you're having to rush that much to get where you were going, you left a little too late. Yeah, so that's a good way to practice. Like, a lot of stuff is just, practicing, making it a part of your moment. And just to find more peace and more gratitude in where you're at. It's a beautiful thing, like your moment. Yeah, and not like resenting it or it's like, what it is, it's like time travel, man. You gotta get off the time travel, because you ain't going back in the past. There is no such thing as time travel. It's only now travel. You're only traveling now. If you were to somehow to be able to go back in time, you'd still be now. So it wouldn't be any kind of time travel thing. And yeah, no time travel, man. Stay in the moment. The moment's beautiful. Or it's at least, I don't know, I'm not going to get a good word for it. But it's something for you to appreciate and honor and rock on it. Yeah, I was thinking about doing one of these, like, I'm going to do like a story, I think, for this next time. I was meaning to do it over the weekend, but I just really lost it with the motivation. My name is, like, you're always thinking of something. Like, I guess this is probably not a good habit to have either. We are always kind of putting that thing kind of out there, like, well, if I do this, then I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to do this. See, I'm not honoring my moment. And I guess sometimes you got to jump out of it. You got to make some lists, because you got, stuff we got to do. You got to pay the taxes. And they're going to come in. You got to, fix stuff at the house, or it's going to go off the deep end and break. But yeah, I have I guess I have like 3 little houses. I got a little travel trailer. I got like a back house, and I got like a front house. So it's kind of like a little compound. And man, I seem like I'm working on this thing like all the time, and crazy. But yeah, I don't know, man. This whole COVID thing too. Don't get me started. And yeah, this is this is also like China, man. Have we not been, speaking of end all wars, we have been at war with that country for a while. They are just doing that kind of sneaky kind of war where they're going commerce. They're trying to just buy us out of stuff. They're not honoring patents. They're trying to steal technology. Yeah, it's like, man, gangsta. And I was like even really pushing that this was their intentional use of a bioweapon on us, because the Trump was really squeezing them on the monetary stuff. And because before that, it was like they just had a blank check with us, and we just weren't, like, because it's groups, right? It goes back to the group thing. I mean, it's a fallacy. Yeah, it's going to cause, but everything's kind of an issue. I mean, it's like making peace with what it is, and kind of chill. Um, but yeah, no, China, and I got when I had that retail shop. I don't know if you remember that part. I briefly mentioned that. Anyway, my father actually had told me about our trade deficit, and I was like, "What?" And this was like years and years ago. I guess this was. No, I think I was just coming off of having brain surgery and all that kind of stuff, so I was pretty punchy. So when I heard stuff, I'd get very was it impulse oriented or something on it? Like that's wrong, man. I'm not like that. And I noticed that all my brands that I was selling were manufactured in China, and I could see some of that. I mean, they have a huge population, so you can cut them some slack on manufacturing, and getting people jobs and all that kind of stuff, getting some bank. But but yeah, so I was just like, no, man, because this is like they're pretty harmful to their people. I mean, they really are. I mean, they're not cool. And you look at most of these, and I guess it's not communist, is it? It's socialist, isn't that it? Yeah, I think even I don't know. I have to look it up because I guess communism you'd have to look at the what was the guy's name that did the thing? And I think it's a global thing for it actually to happen. I think, what is it? People, they go socialist and then eventually it goes into communism. I don't know, something like that, I think. I vaguely remember that in school. And, but anyway, but it seems like all these countries that do this where it's like for the people and stuff, it all becomes like these monarchies where it's like this ruling elite takes over and even ours, man. I mean, we had basically the bankers took us over way back in was it Woodrow Wilson's time with the Federal Reserve? Yeah, that was a coup d'état right there, man. They took us over. Yeah, look that one up. That's a pretty interesting thing. And then also the monetary system is whack. It is totally whack. And the banks are making. I mean, they're just running away. It's like this whole like. What is it like? I don't know. 0.4% of the population has like 40% of the wealth or something like that. I don't know, some crazy number. But it's basically bankers, man. They make up money on loans and stuff. It's like the money doesn't even. They generate out of. It's like fictitious money. It's wild. Wild, I tell you. But yeah, it's some crazy stuff. And then just, I don't know, man. You just watch so much. I mean, I guess I watch a lot of stuff on YouTube and just the news. I mean, yeah, you get back in that moment and turn off, I guess, maybe the tube. Trying to watch. Well, I watch the cute movie. And I love when I can find a movie where I can at least, like, verbally, where I have to break out and laugh. That's pretty awesome. Laughter is great. When I was going through my GBM period in the hospital, I was like really cracking a lot of jokes and looking for humor anywhere I could get it. Joking with my doctors, my nurses, and all that kind of stuff. I figured if I was going to go out, I was going to go out laughing, you know what I'm saying? And it's such a good practice for us all to find more joy. Though on the transverse, I always noticed that a lot of comedians, they seem really freaking depressed. And just really sad. You know, it's almost like a knee jerk. And I guess most humor is kind of, you really start to analyze it. But it does feel good to laugh, I guess, at the hypocrisy of it. Or I guess that's what it is. It's like kind of seeing the fallacy and stuff, and the jokes on us maybe a little bit, or a lot of it. Well, another good thing to kind of practice is to put some more kind of art therapy in your life, to do like a little I don't know, just something, off the cuff where you're just kind of practicing. It can be pretty much anything, as long as you're finding, I guess, some kind of aesthetic in it, like the Zen and what is it, Zen, the art of motorcycle repair. Yeah, anything. Working on your car, working on your motorcycle, painting a picture, writing a story. Um, yeah, and just give some attention and appreciation. And there's so much good about not focusing on the end result. You know what I'm saying? Like the really goes back to everything. Everything goes back to honoring your moment. It really does. When in doubt, listen to your. Am I breathing? Ask yourself that, and listen to your breath. Breathe it in. Really just take that in, and it's good. Um, Joy, ease, and lightness. You should be in a state of joy, ease, and lightness. I promise, regardless. I know it seems berserker, but it pretty much is there for us, and it is. But it's just if you want to be your monkey, you really can. And monkeys are fun. I have to always preface that it's a lot of our, not all of it, I would guess, but a lot of our sex drive, a lot of our, but it's also, a lot of all of our hurt and stuff too, But I mean, I think there was a Star Trek where there was this being that was taking away everybody's kind of hurt. So you became you didn't fear anymore, you didn't have pain, and Kurt was like, no, these are me, I am. See, Kurt was his monkey. I think the doctor in the show, he decided he got it. He said, no, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. Yeah. You play with it. I mean, I don't think you can get rid of the monkey anyway, so don't worry about it. But it's also just realize that you are not really that monkey. Now, why you're not altogether, I don't really know. But I think I heard one analogy. It's kind of like a dream, where you're not your monkey because you can actually listen to your thoughts. You can kind of sit back and in a non-judgmental way, you're aware of your thoughts and you're listening to it. So it's not like you're that classic thing where you're in a dream and you're unaware. So that would be basically that you're what am I trying to say? That you are your dream person, but you're not. You can sometimes kick out. So it's just like that. Like you can sometimes kick out. You're in a dream. You can kind of tweak it sometimes. It's been a while since I really tweaked a dream I was living in, but But I don't know if y'all are the same, but man, I get so infected by my dreams the next day. I mean, it can set me on where I'm just riding high, or if I'm feeling down low. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put on the song. This is Monkey Man. This is a song I wrote, and it has Mr. Red Priest, Achille Le Rouge on guitar, and he's coming up next on the top of the hour with Listen to Us Live, which is a show dedicated to those with brain injury, and I'm also a member of that club. But let me see if I can get this thing going. I wonder if I could even kick it on here. I might try. Nah, I can't do that. That's a lead too far. I'll have to practice that. All right, I was gonna try and plug it in, honestly. Now I'm just gonna hold it in my hand and you can listen to it, and I'll sing along. Hey, monkey, I want you to love me. Monkey, I want to love you when I feel you. You're my monkey. You're so mean and cruel, but you're mine, oh mine, my little monkey. Little boy had a life-size toy. It was a monkey. When I squeezed it, made a cute sound. Hey, monkey, I want you to love me. Monkey, I want to love you when I feel you. You're my monkey. You're so mean and cruel, but you're mine, oh mine, my little monkey. chimpanzee wearing a suit and fedora sits in a bar. He tells a joke to the bartender. He's also a chimpanzee. The joke is about two penguins. Hey, monkey, I want you to love me. Monkey, I want to love you when I feel you. You, my monkey. You're so mean and cruel, but you're mine, all mine, my little monkey. Yeah, those goddamn monkeys bite, I tell you. I want you to bite me, monkey. I don't really care, you're not mine, all mine. You're with me all the time. Hey, monkey. Ooh, I feel you. But we ain't one. Hey, monkey. I can't help but love that monkey, that monkey, that monkey, that monkey man. I can't help but love that monkey, that monkey, that monkey, that monkey man. Hey, monkey, I want you to love me. Monkey, I want to love you when I feel you, my monkey. You're so mean and cruel, but you're not mine, all mine, little monkey. I want you to bite me, monkey. I don't really care, you're not mine, all mine. You're with me all the time. Hey, monkey. Feel you. We ain't one. I love that monkey, that monkey, that monkey, that monkey, man. Can't help but love that monkey. Alright, happy 4th, y'all. Y'all have a good one out there. Love yourselves. Remember, stay in your moment. Keep on it. Keep it loving. Monkey Mom. Oh,
man, that song's infectious. I've been dancing. Thank you for the show. I must have been a good half hour.
cool.
Whew, what you got going today? I'm gonna pick.
Man, I don't know, dude.
I got to grab Richie after the show.
Oh yeah, he's going after the thing.
We might go to the Schnitzel house.
Ah,
Any interest in some meat? Let me know.
okay, good.
Cause I'm gonna take him grocery shopping. We might do that after dinner. I don't know. Whatever we're doing. You invited along, whatever. Enough.
All right, bro. Oops.
4th of July, you know. Whatever that freaking means.
That means.